I'm Fernandez, and this is another edition of the Gridiron Report. Back with David Furones. Where's Manny?
I don't know. Apparently he doesn't cover high schools anymore.
All right, wait till I get a hold of him. It's too long of an absence by now. But anyway, let's look back at last week. David, let's start with Broward County, a huge game between Flanagan and Miramar. Went down to the wire. Miramar looked like they had the game, 21-6, let the lead slip away again, and the Falcons now are district champs.
Yeah, Flanagan, district champs for the first time in program history. Also, just the second ever win against Miramar. So now, and for Miramar, they let 3 fourth-quarter leads slip away. If football games were played in 3 quarters, then they'd be state champs, presumably.
Yeah, maybe they would be, but obviously not. And right now, do or die this week for them against Cypress Bay. All right, staying in Broward County, let's talk about that Hallandale team. They came in this year with a lot of expectations, and so far they continue to live up to it. Big win over Dillard. They're 1 win away, a win they should have this week to get into the playoffs, and then, you know, Boynton's down the road. Talk about the Chargers a little bit.
So Hallandale gets some redemption against Dillard. Dillard was a team that eliminated Hallandale last season. So now the Chargers eliminate Dillard, pay it back this year, going into Boynton Beach. That'll set up a big district showdown, 2 teams unbeaten in that district.
Yep, and you go back now to Dade County, you talk about District 16-7A, very competitive in this district. American, huge win in this first of, it seems like 3 pivotal matchups that are going to happen over the next few weeks. But they made a statement pretty good by not only beating Miami Springs, but beating them thoroughly.
Yeah, American showed some separation between them and Miami Springs in this game. The 2 teams that came out of this district last year. Jeremiah Pierce Johnson was great, the Denson brothers, of course. Now, Miami Springs, this isn't the way they want to go into that game against Matter with the playoff berth on the line.
Yeah, I mean, you look at another game in Dade County that was pretty important, you know, toward deciding the playoff picture, one that my dad's wasn't happy with. I can tell you that the second I texted him the score. But Gables took care of Miami High, 22-12. It was competitive like we thought it would be. The Stingarees have shown a lot of improvement this year.
It was competitive, and you have to wonder what could have happened if Miami High didn't turn the ball over 4 times in the first half and then get the safety with the special teams blunder. Now Gables, the district schedule gets easier for them. They win the games they should win, then they should get that runner-up spot in that district.
Definitely. I mean, and you look at another big matchup over there, well, rivalry at least. We kind of figured there would be a disparity, and there was a lot of this going on at the beginning of Central Northwestern. Northwestern got in their face, but Central woke up, steamrolled them 56-21. The Rockets are district champs if they get 1 more win.
Andre, I was at this game, so yeah, you're right. The intensity was up there. Northwestern and Central had to be separated before the game. Stands packed to the top, but there was only one side that was doing all the cheering. That was the fans rooting for the Rockets. So Rockets, again, they prove they're on another level in that district. And Northwestern now becomes the biggest Carroll City fans, hoping Carroll City can beat Norland in a couple weeks.
Yeah, because that would force a tiebreaker between the Bulls, Chiefs, and Norland, which that would be outrageously, you know, a lot of fun, huge, crazy atmosphere. But we'll see if Norland makes it simple and gets in. All right, another Dade-Broward crossover matchup that was very good. And I'm kicking myself for the pick I made because I really believe Jackson was a lot better this year. I know I went with Gibbons, but I got to hand it to the Generals. They've done a great job this year under Earl Little. Talk about how huge that is because now they're 1 very likely development away from getting in the playoffs. Coach
Earl Little has installed a lot of confidence in this team. Jackson, you have to like the resolve they show. They go from Plantation, American Heritage, to then going down to Homestead to face South Dade, and then back up to Broward, Fort Lauderdale to face Gibbons. It's tough when you have those 2 Broward teams in your district, a 3-team district, and then you have to play them on the road both. And they go and take they split those 2, take one of them. And now Gibbons, they have to be all in for that game against American Heritage if they want to force anything, any kind of tiebreaker.
All in is an understatement. Heritage is still one of the best teams in the country, but Jackson in good shape now. And finally, let's talk about another one that's going to probably have decided a playoff spot. NMB, miserable season up to that point for NMB, but all they cared about at the end was that they beat Reagan 22-9, and now it looks like they're postseason bound as long as they stay on track.
And Andre, you were right about this game. North Miami Beach with its athletes beat Reagan. And what really helped Reagan, I think, is the tough out-of-district schedule. They've challenged themselves, and then it makes the district games a lot easier. So now win the games they should, and they'll be on their way to the playoffs.
Yeah, Jeff Bertani and those guys, you know, turn it around late, but they got the job done. All right, thanks for joining us. Check out our pick segment on our site.